On a late night, microphone check, Looney Rocks. Say something, Boom.
You.
Perfect. When you know what I know what you know. We can get that thing popping. Yep. Coming over. Put your mic on. The pass rush was a crucial, critical component in the 49ers winning a frustrating game for Fins. QB Winslow, the 49ers got to him for a total of 4 sacks. Now it gets serious. As the opening weekend of the NFL playoffs gets underway, the Buccaneers and Seahawks will meet with the winner advancing to the divisional round. They showing Drew Lock. Is that telling us something over there? Is McLean hurt? Dallas Gant is in the crash course in learning with the change to right outside linebacker. Good luck. That's your guy, right, Booney?
Yep.
What was? Let's talk about that, man. We in the news right now, Coach. Why was Dallas Gant moved to the outside linebacker?
Man, we just you never want to anticipate injuries, but we just trying to think 2 steps ahead, man, to put people in position to step in, plug and play, man, to be ready during the playoffs.
No doubt. We got Wildcard matchup, Uncle Ducky's game, Browns versus Texans. It's win or go home. The AFC showdown will be closely watched. Let me ask y'all this question. We got a new coach. We got the Panthers back in the playoffs with their new head coach, Jimbo. The Saints is back in the dance again after taking a couple seasons off, not being in the dance. Then you got good old faithful with the Dallas Cowboys and Coach Jungle, Big Avelli, and one person who's been playing good football and has the 2nd seed in the NFC is the Bears and Jordan Love over there. Shed light on the NFC side of things, Boom. Playoffs. Anything different over there? Do you think they match up with the AFC this year when it comes down to watching these matchups?
Man, it's hard to tell, man. Honestly, man, I can't say none of these motherfuckers really match up with the AFC at all. They need to really worry about matching up with Jungle, man. You know what I mean? I don't think they can even see the AFC, but shit, can they even see Jungle?
Right. I mean, we've talked earlier on some earlier and previous shows. We talked about Panthers and the Eagles getting new head coaches that we familiar with winning. And I do quote, you commented and said that the NFC was better than the AFC, and this was not too long ago. What changed?
Well, I say it was more balanced, man. The NFC was more balanced, man. The AFC definitely top heavy, but the NFC have a few new teams that could possibly make the playoffs. At least about 10 teams that can make the playoffs. You know what I mean? It was pretty tight. It was a lot of 8 and 7 teams. So that's what I meant by that. But we definitely top heavy. We got the best over in the AFC. It's just more spread out in the NFC.
Bet. When we talk about players, impact players on some of these teams out here, man, we got to see maybe a glimpse of what the future can bring last night in a 38-28 win for the Chiefs. They traveled to Jacksonville, Duval, and they sat Mahomes. They rested him in Week 17, knowing they had the number 1 seed pretty much locked up. Played Garantano. We was there for that game, Coach. You saw it and all that. So what do you think about Jaden Daniels having to play all year for the Jaguars and Garantano stepping in for the first time Week 17 and playing in that big time game? What do you think about those 2 quarterbacks? Are they the future for those 2 franchises?
Man, I don't know. That's tough to say about Daniels, man. Garantano, that's another story. If you were just fans watching that game for the first time, not knowing who these guys were, you would have thought Garantano was a fucking pro. You know what I mean? Like 2-3 years in the game, some of the throws he was making. And Daniels, man, he was just kind of flustered, man. I don't know if it was the pressure or what, but he was just throwing some ducks out there.
Right. I agree with that. I also thought that Garantano, like you said, if you closed your eyes and looked at the stats, or you just didn't know who were what numbers out there, you would have thought Patrick Mahomes was actually playing in that game. I mean, we can go back to it. We saw a nice throw on a sideline that he made, and then it's just like he had good presence on the deep ball in that game, throwing the ball. Anything else stood out to you in that game?
Man, just really, I think this year, man, in order for the Jags to make it deep, their defense is definitely going to be the anchor. And the reason why they make it, man, because that defense was balling last night. Like Falk, he made plays with his quarterback and with his running backs, but the defense was definitely stout.
Yeah, I think that's a matchup. I think they both kind of like, set their guys down here and there, and we had a one-on-one battle last night between Bo Rice and the rookie Derek Stingley last night, man. What did you think, man? Did you think that Stingley deserves to be named Stingley Allen, or we crowning him a shutdown corner too early?
Nah, man, we got to give it to him, man. That first pick six, you know what I mean, where he broke on that, it was the out, wasn't it? He broke on the out.
He didn't take it to the crib though, but he didn't take it to the crib. Nah, he didn't. He got caught by Holiday.
Okay, but yeah, that shit, he broke on it so smooth, like he fucking ran the route better than the damn receiver.
Yeah.
So I think he definitely can be crowned as a lockdown.
I mean, and we going and with the RDL rosters, we are going into the wave. Earlier today, it was posted the top corners coming up, the new corners, the new shutdown corners of RDL was Derek Stingley, Tyson Campbell, Isaac Stewart Teller, and Amik Robinson for the Saints, man. I definitely like what I saw between all those guys. Their numbers was outstanding this year. And we are anchoring in a new wave. Like, again, Chase Young at defensive end, is he anchoring in that new wave? You still got the old savvy vets out there, Arrington, people like that. You got BG Gonzalez still holding things down from feel like they've been playing for 10 years now, even though they still young. But this new wave of players coming in right now, man, like, stand out. Like when you talk about the Ravens on defense, is Chase Young ready to say that this is his football team on defense?
Man, the vets, man, they pretty much handed over the keys, man, to the D, and they said Chase Young he's the captain. He's definitely ready to take over, man. He's might as well say Chase Island, because he locked down one side of the defense. You know what I mean, in the run game. So yeah, it's his team. It's his team.
Before we go ham into these playoff matchups and stuff, we want to talk about a lot of stuff to close out the regular season with. First of all, let's go to standings and talk about AFC and NFC records over here. So we had two teams that's undefeated. Chiefs finished the season 16-0. Cowboys finished the season 16-0. My question is, can rest in peace Don Shula and those 72 Dolphins, can they pop those corpse on the champagne, or do you see somebody taking it all undefeated with one of these two teams?
I don't know, man. It's tough with Falk. It's definitely tough with Jungle, because he made it to the Super Bowl, man, pretty easily, man, every year. So I don't know, man. That's tough to say, man. And Falk seems like he focused, so you can never tell, man. I want to say that somebody might break that record.
I think it's we're close to seeing it, but numbers don't lie. If you go through the future, the past, the Chiefs have been undefeated coming into the playoffs a lot. I think maybe three times in the last 10 seasons. They've been at least 3 times undefeated over there, and have early exits or championship game exits. I don't think the Cowboys made it there undefeated at all. But I think you're right. I think if the Chiefs can do it, and the Cowboys both, they're both two teams that can actually make the Miami Dolphins pick them champagne bottles up.
I got a question for you though. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna let you just speed past that. You know what I mean? We got to back up a little bit.
Okay.
You said he been 16-0 on 3 or 4 different occasions, and he said he got sweaty palms.
I didn't use the word sweaty palms, but I think the pressure of being undefeated going into the playoffs has definitely took its toll on the Chiefs. If you go by the numbers, their one Super Bowl win they wasn't undefeated. They actually lost 2 games that year and won the Super Bowl. All the times they've been undefeated and get into these playoffs, yeah, they have folded in those moments. My question to you, off your question, is does that play a role in their locker room? Do you think these guys, because a lot of these guys have been around for these undefeated seasons, do you think these guys have that? We've been talking about it in the press the entire week since week 17 was over. We've been talking about it all day long. Chiefs being undefeated, Miami Dolphins put them champagne bottles up, all that. That pressure is there. These guys got a bye week, but that pressure is completely there for them. Do you think that they will fight past that pressure and get it done, or you think the pressure is real?
That's tough, man. The pressure is definitely real, man. But basically, that's the job of the coach, man, to talk to their players and get them loose, man. They got to play loose, man, and not so uptight, worrying about their record. They have something bigger on the line other than that record, man. The record will come as long as they play ball the right way, and that's pretty much what they need to focus on.
If you look at it as a whole this season with these we don't stay with these 2 undefeated teams right now. Hasn't been much turnover for the Chiefs. They add weapons. A lot of their guys been drafted 2 seasons ago. These guys are becoming impact players now. You go to team stats right now. We look at the total yards gained on the season. The Chiefs is sitting in second with 7,718 yards. You go to total offensive yards, period. Chiefs sitting in first with 7,118. You go to passing yards on the year, Chiefs sitting in first, 4,718. Go to rushing yards, Chiefs are not in the top 10. Or are they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're actually 10 on a button. So they're sitting in the top 10 when they come down to running the ball. Points per game, they hold it down with the lead with 46.6 points per game right now. Passing touchdowns, no one's really close to them. Jaguars 54, Chiefs 68. Rushing touchdowns, 19 though. I definitely don't think they're in the top 10 here. And I'm right, they're not in the top 10 running the ball. We know this. Playoff football, you have to have a strong running game. Do you think them not being in the top 10 rushing can hurt them in the playoffs this year?
It can, but I don't think it will, man. Playoff football is different. Coaches they bring out the trick plays. They bring out the game plans. I think he'll find a formula that works for him against the opponent that he plays.
Yeah, I like that, but I think with the AFC, man, when it comes down to the come down, you have to have a strong presence in the run game, period. We're going to stay here. Cowboys sitting in 4th place right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, with 6,944 yards. Now, one thing I will say about the Cowboys, it looks a lot better over here because their quarterback is not a rookie anymore. He's out of his rookie year, won a Super Bowl as a rookie, and he's coming into that second season right now. Again, they sitting in 4th place in total yards. When it comes down to total offensive yards gained, they sitting in 3rd. When it comes down to passing yards, they're sitting at 6th. Yep, 6th. Rushing, they sitting at 6 again. Points per game, sitting at 3. Passing touchdowns, sitting at 3. Rushing touchdowns, not top. It might be top 10. Let's see. Yep, top 10. And this Cowboy offense, they're producing, right? I say they're producing. We'll go to the individual stats in a little bit. But when you're in the top 10 and when it comes down to offensive production, and you're sitting at 3rd, anywhere from 3 to 10, at every category right now. Is that that's the recipe to me for playoff football and going and winning some ball games over here. But you know it as well as I know it. It comes down to defense in these playoffs right now. And when you look at the defense as the NFL whole right now, you can see the playoff teams sitting up here. So the Bucks sitting at 1, Cowboys sitting at 2. When it comes down to total yards allowed, Jaguars at 3, Seahawks at 4. All playoff teams. You got the Giants snuck in there. Then you got the Browns, Chiefs, Saints. All playoff teams. So then you go to passing yards. Against the pass, the Cowboys again sitting in 3. Against the rush, they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They sitting at 7 against the rush. Points allowed. They're number 1 with points allowed. To me, is that the biggest stat that we looking at right now? Not giving up points at all.
Yeah, man. Once again, that goes to the competition, man. But hey, I don't know, man. Numbers don't lie. You know what they say.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you gotta stick.
As the great Falky would say, numbers don't lie. I think he say bitches do or something like that. Hoes do, men do, men and women do. Something about it. Sacks on the season right now. You got again sacks on the season. The Cowboys aren't in the top 10 of. Yep, they're in the top 10 here. Forced fumble recoveries. They are. They might be sitting outside of the top 10. They are outside of the top 10. The INTs, takeaways, they are sitting at 4th place right here. So, again, they sitting in 4th place. Chiefs sitting in 2nd. When you look at defensive stats, period, the Chiefs is up there. You'll either see them at 1 or 3 at damn near every category on defense. Sacks, 77. Points allowed, they are sitting in 3rd place here. Rushing yards allowed. Chiefs sitting in 6th place, and passing yards allowed, they are sitting in where they at? In top 10. Yep, top 10. They sitting at 8. All right. So again, those two undefeated teams sitting there with good recipe. They are averaging top 10 offense, top 10 defense in every category. Man, that's big on the year right now. Boom. Let's slide over here to the awards and talk some things right now. So your Ravens got a big game coming up against the Buffalo Bills. I don't know if you played them this year. Have you played the Bills this year?
Man, I think I did, man. I think
got a new coach. I mean, I like the coach. The coach over there. I mean, he got his team into the playoffs. I mean, that's all you can ask for over there. They do got a nice little mini scheme they go with. They got a real solid West Coast style of offense. They did trade one of their big pieces with Brevin Jordan. I didn't understand that, but they traded him, and he was a great tight end. They had 3 stud tight ends, and now they left with 2. But the offenses that they possess definitely involved their tight ends in the short intermediate passing game. Your strength of your defense, I would say, would be at your linebacker level. Are they equipped to be able to play quick passing game when you can't get to the quarterback because they're getting the ball out fast? How do you counter that?
We definitely got to sit on some stuff, man. We can't be running around chasing shit. We just got to wait for it to come to us. Because you start chasing shit, man, they're going to go right behind you. You know what I mean? So right. We just got to stay home, and our D linemen, man, they got to get their hands up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. All right, so Lamar Jackson is sitting on his 5th MVP race right now. Now, after talking to Lamar, he said, Coach, I would turn in every MVP trophy I've won to be able to host the Lombardi Trophy right now, man. Well, what does that say about your quarterback?
Hey, man, he committed to winning, man. We got a lot of players on this team that work hard every practice, all season. They won a Super Bowl. He's just letting everybody know that it's not about him, it's about the team.
All right. Now, another thing, man, you playing with the most dominant weapon in Madden football right now, man. And what type of pressures does that comes along with it? Because right now he's done something no other quarterback has done ever, which is rush for 2,000 yards. But it's a plus and a negative to that, because not only did you have the most rushing yards from a quarterback, you led the league in rushing yards, but then in the sense of that, the passing game struggled a lot. Now, was that because of the play calling and the style you wanted to play with this year, or is Lamar Jackson kind of declining in the passing game right now?
I can't really say declining, man. I really want to say it's just a play style. Because we didn't throw the ball well, but we threw it good enough, especially to get into the playoffs. 56% 21 touchdowns, 18 interceptions, 2,000 yards. But then you think about we almost had 1,000 yard back also. I had to sit him down, a couple of the last games, but come on, like we sharing the wealth. We committed to the run. We had almost 3,500 yards rushing. I think we led the league if I'm not mistaken. But I don't know. But no, we were just committed to the run.
Okay, so my question to you is, again, numbers don't lie right now, and Lamar Jackson has been quoted saying that, MVP is really not that important. I'm a team player. It's about the team, and winning the Super Bowl is the ultimate team reward. My question to you is, we say that, but the tape don't lie. It's the Lamar Jackson show, period. And is that enough to get you past wild card, divisional round, AFC Championship to the Super Bowl game?
It is, man. It is with our game plan, but we can't. I don't want to speak for Lamar, man, but I don't think that it's his show. When McIntosh as a rookie had 16 touchdowns on 173 carries.
Okay,
Yeah,
in the playoffs, running the football is mandatory. It's not necessary. It's mandatory. Um, Again, 16 rushing touchdowns from your running back, a rookie running back at that, almost 1,000 yard back, and you had shitload of touchdowns and 2,000 yards production out of the quarterback at running back right now. But in the passing game, a player that was all world last year and led the league in all types of passing categories has barely had 20 catches this year. Again, what is the problem with this Ravens offense where they can't pit it all together, where they can be dominant in the passing game and with this Lamar Jackson being the best player and the most hardest player to stop in the league? Why can't we get both of them? Why can't we get a 3,000 yard passing quarterback with this 2,000 yards? Or even in a game, can we not rely on Lamar Jackson enough to make your offense so dangerous that is almost impossible to stop? You guys are kind of on the cuff of that, but then y'all take 2 steps forward, 2 steps back when it comes down to your offense. What is the ingredients for you to put it all together?
Man, well, I think we had the recipe, man. We had the recipe, and right now we're just going with what the team, the offense and the defense give us. If we could nickel and dime up the field, get 3 yards here, 3 yards there, first down, we're gonna do that. We're gonna control the clock. That's pretty much what I think we were missing. We were just trying to quick strike, drive the ball down the field, one play touchdowns. If you go back to some of my previous games, 11 play drives, 15 play drives, for touchdowns, even some field goals. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to, eat up the clock and play football.
Right, and I appreciate that because you answered the question at first. I thought you wasn't giving me an answer, but you came back and answered it. Pitting drives together resulted in you finally getting back over the hump of losing to the Browns 5 straight times. When it came down to Game 6, you guys jumped in front of them and won that ball game, man. Is again that recipe, pitting drives together, 10 play, 11 play drives together, along with the big strikes. We know this game is about momentum. If these Ravens on offense can hold the momentum down, do you see your chances of winning the Super Bowl? Is it here? Is it winner? Is it win or bust this year for the Ravens? Put it that way.
It's one of us every year. I know sometimes you can't. When you lose, you find weaknesses in your offense and your defense, so you have to kind of readjust and reload. But now this year, I think we have all the pieces that we need. We have receivers, running backs, quarterbacks, man, linemen. Our defense is stout. Ed Reed ready. He ready. He ready for them Chiefs and them Jags. We just sitting back licking our chops, man. We know we the underdogs. Nobody expecting us to make it or do anything, so we just wait for our turn.
And then if we talk numbers, man, right now we go back to Lamar Jackson, 2,039 passing yards. He was 124 for 221, 21 touchdowns, 18 picks. This is one of, honestly, the production as far as yardage is not there, but this might be his best passing season he's had. This is one of the first years where he hasn't had more interceptions than touchdowns, and he's been almost 60% in throwing the ball right now. So again, I'm coming right back to your offense and being dangerous what makes like you reached the potential of the threat of Lamar Jackson yet? Have you figured it out yet, where you can absolutely maximize the whole X factor of Lamar Jackson by keeping any team you play off balance?
Yeah, I'm definitely there. Like I said, man, it just depends on who we have on the other side, man. If we're going against Simeon Rice and Ray Lewis, we gotta do some extra stuff. If we're going against Voorhees and Moses, we gotta ID some things. So it just depends on who we play, man. It's the football is a chess match, and we just gotta basically put our players in the right position to make plays.
All right, bet. So you got the wild card. When we hear you talking about teams and these Ravens being at their best, we hear you talking about the teams like the Jaguars and some of their players, the Chiefs and some of their players. But you still got the Texans in the playoffs. You still got the Browns in the playoffs. You still got the Bills in the playoffs right now. Are we sleeping on those? Those guys aren't. Are you concerned at all? And it's just about the Jags and the Chiefs right now, or is it really
Man,
one game at a time?
it's one game at a time, man. But as far as I know, right now, I ain't got to worry about neither one of them until they dethrone one of y'all with the way that the seating is. So
Okay.
either I'm gonna face you or I'm gonna face Falk if I beat the Bills, not looking past him, and they got to play one of y'all too. So until one of them beat y'all, then hey, y'all two on the radar.
Right, right, right. All right, so Tyreek Black numbers were down last year, which is not, to me, now I'm looking at it, it's not a bad thing. I think you are showing a little bit more balance. I mean, again, Lamar's the ultimate weapon using. Excuse me, but 37 catches for Tyreek and 857 yards, 9 touchdowns. Terrell Shavers, man, this is one of the guys that we thought would be a very big piece to the Ravens and their style of play. 22 catches for 359 yards, 5 touchdowns. Now, that's completely better than his first year. Is this guy the guy that we thought he would be? Do you feel he's ready now? Do you think he's ready to take that next step and put the pressure on these DBs?
Man, he can, man. He has the grab and go ability, man, the streak specialist ability, but he still need to polish up his route running, out route slants. But he'll definitely take you deep. But he still got some learning to do. We're trying to bring him along, but I think he's gonna show y'all some of these playoffs.
Coach, you spent a very high draft pick on Bishop Gorman this season. A piece that you were very vocal on, that you wanted him from the time we started talking about drafting in the off season and all that, and you found a way to get to it. This piece right here with Bishop Gorman sitting in the middle. His numbers don't lie again. I mean, 96 total tackles, 16 tackles for loss, 5.5 sacks, 5 INTs this year, man. Is this, coming into these playoffs, new player on the field as a rookie, is this guy your defensive player where this is the game changer for you? Finally got that middle linebacker.
Yeah, man. We talked about this last year, man. I felt like that's what I was missing, was a middle linebacker, an elite middle linebacker. Baby Ray was cool, but we needed somebody that was a headhunter, somebody with some speed, and Bishop Gorman, man, he fit the bill, and that's exactly what we needed, man. You see it right, like you said, 96 tackles, man. You flying around, sideline to sideline, knocking motherfuckers' heads off. We ready to fucking play.
No doubt, man. So we definitely gonna tune into that Bills and that Ravens game, man. Let's move on to another situation when it comes down to awards right now. So congratulations, Coach, on Lamar Jackson, his 5th MVP. In the AFC, he also won Offensive Player of the Year. Fred Teller, man, going from the Jaguars to the Titans. Many thought Fred Teller was on his way to a graveyard spot, man. Let's talk about this for a little bit, Boone. Fred Teller has been a really good running back the moment he stepped foot in Jacksonville. And these guys traded him, man. They didn't value him at all. He really had it out for the Jaguars. He was pissed off. He didn't want to lead a team. He was a Super Bowl MVP. He held it down. He was the reason why Saquon Barkley was able to get traded. Didn't be able to finish his career as a Jaguar. And then right around the corner behind that, he goes to the Titans. And all he did was rush for 2,000 yards and have a better season than he's ever had as a Jaguar right now, man. Can you shed light on Fred Taylor, man, and moving over in the same division and going to the Titans?
Man, I just want to say, you ever felt unappreciated?
Yeah, definitely,
And I
definitely.
think, man, Fred Taylor felt like he had a second chance, man. He had something to prove, man. He came over here and he did it, man.
I mean,
Like that's all I gotta say.
as a rookie, he had 1084 and 14 touchdowns. As a sophomore, 1041, 8 touchdowns. And in the Super Bowl year where he was the MVP of that Super Bowl, 1552, 10.5 yards a carry, 13 touchdowns. The next year before he got traded, 62 carries, 458 yards. I think that's where the disrespect came. 7.48 touchdowns. And then he comes back and have one of the best. I mean, he's carried the ball more than he's ever carried it for the Titans. But 2,082 yards, 7.1, 22 touchdowns. I mean, he was third with rushing yards this year in the league. And then Fred Taylor's 24 years old, man. So again, Titans got them a warrior over there, man. And are we expecting to see him to continue to play this way?
Yeah, yeah. I want to say that, man. Hopefully, he don't have a drop off, man, and hopefully he can get Hero Burgers into the playoffs.
I
I
mean, they
like to
were
see Fred
eight
in
and
the
six,
playoffs.
8 and 6, 8 and 7 this year. I mean, they were 2 wins where they lost by 4 and they lost by 7 wins away from actually making a playoff push over here for the first time, man. So like when you get an explosive player like that comes from a winning program, been there, done that. They also picked up Amari Rodgers from them Jaguars. They also picked up a couple of Seahawks players. They bring in winners in the building, and those winners in the building has turned this season around. You know, the Titans been 4-win team. They've been a top 10 pick, top 5 pick for 6 straight years. And almost 7 years, and now this year they said we ain't worrying about the draft. We're gonna go get the players that that are winners. And honestly, I think their program has turned around right now, man. And he's capitalizing off of these guys, man. And again, Fred Taylor is a proven winner, and he's done that. I know they didn't make the playoffs, but we have to give credit where credit's due. Coach Hillburgers over there with these players turned it around, man, and doubled his wins from his entire career as a coach. I think that saved his job. Also, I think Fred Taylor, man, without Lamar Jackson rushing for 2,000 yards, this is our league leader right here, right now, man. That's big, man. We're gonna be able to watch this later on. Yeah, it could have been an MVP. So that was big. So let's get out of there. Let's go. Let's keep going back over here to the awards before we get to these other playoff games and shit. All right. So again, offensive AFC player was Lamar Jackson, Fred Taylor, Anthony Puka Williams came in third. Defensive player of the year, Dylon Moses. Boom. What can we say about Dylon Moses?
We could say that he should have been a Raven.
We could also say this: Dylon. All right, so I mean, you lost Amari Rodgers, man. Bottom line, you lost one of the best. I mean, Amari Rodgers was the most controversial linebacker in the league as a Jaguar. I mean, the trade was unexpected. This kid was young. He was 24 years old, 25 years old. Got traded after coming off a hell of a year. He goes and we plug and play. So I thought, I mean, honestly, did you see that Amari Rodgers trade coming when they drafted Dylon Moses, or that was unexpected, or was it Dylon Moses the reason why they got rid of him?
Oh, Moses was definitely the reason why you got rid of him, man. I feel like that was like the Bishop Gorman pick. You picked number 1, so you already knew he was plug and play automatically. So you know what you was doing, and you got a hell of a player.
Right. All right, so Dylon Moses won Defensive Player of the Year. Ray Lewis came in second. We'll talk a little bit about Ray Lewis as we go on. Isaiah Simmons third. All right, so let's get to the Offensive Rookies of the Year right now. Let's talk about this Kenny McIntosh, because this is another guy you targeted. You got him. I don't know what round you got him in. Would you share light on that? What round you got him in?
I picked him in the second round.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I put him in the second round. Definitely needed a running back. That was something that I needed for probably the last 2-3 years. But I was going defense heavy and receiver heavy. And we like this combine grade, and we needed a fast back, somebody that was better than Ray Rice, but still could run with some power.
Coach, we got a lot of stuff to talk about right now. We know you're ready to go on the kickoff. So before we get back into these awards and all that, let's talk about your keys to winning this ball game against the Bills.
Oh man, my keys is just we discussed this short game, and we just got to sit on it, man. We just can't chase stuff. We got to run the ball effectively in the snow. We're in Buffalo, so we just can't let the crowd get into the game. We got to take the crowd out of the game.
No doubt, no doubt. All right, Coach, good luck, man. We will see you back, talk to you at halftime, and at the end of the game, man, hopefully you pull out a dub, and good luck going forward right now. As we turn over, we want to go reach out to King Falk and see if we got him. Yeah, we've been trying to connect to him. He's out there in Buffalo right now. Just give us a second. We're trying to get the feed. King Falk. All right, we're gonna go to commercial. We'll come back when we get the with the coronavirus and COVID-19 going on. A lot of stuff is just hard to get when it comes down to visuals, and it's hard to get commentary. There we go, King Falk, man. You're sitting out there in the snow in Buffalo right now, man. The weather is definitely an element. My question is, the Ravens are a cold weather playing team out there in Baltimore. The weather is not Florida or California, anything like that. Do you think the weather affects them? Do it slow down Lamar Jackson?
I think no. I think the way they've been playing, smash mouth playoff football.
Right. So let's talk about this Ravens football team, man. We've been spending a lot of time on it, knowing that they was great playing all that stuff. So King Falk, man, what do you think about this Ravens team? Lamar is on his 5th MVP run right now. Their numbers are down, but his passing numbers are up in certain ways too. Touchdown to interception ratio is better. Completion percentage is better. Yards are down, but it seems like he got a little bit more accurate as he got older. Now Lamar's 31 years old right now, 32. The window. How do you feel about the window right now? This is how important is winning this year for Lamar Jackson?
I think it's big. I think it's big for him. Probably the most important year of his career. I mean, he's 31, 32 years old. Yeah, I think it's real big for him. I think this is while that window is not closed, it's getting closed. I think that when they're playing this year, they want to get to a minimum the AFC Championship game.
All right, so Kenny McIntosh, man, a rookie running back over here, has 960 yards rushing, 15, 16 touchdowns right now, man. Does he play again? We're playing in Buffalo in the elements right now, man, and we're talking about the guys that should be a factor in this game. And does Kenny McIntosh play a big role? How many rookies have we seen actually play in a playoff game and really dominate in it?
I think he do.
Think he built for it?
Yeah.
I think he built for it too, man. This is going to be an exciting game. Anybody that's paying attention to the Real Draft, please tune into the Real Booms channel. Game is up. Broadcast should be in the chat. Tune into the game. This is a big-time game. We finally got a game played. As you can see, the Bills coach and the Ravens coach do not duck at all. But fuck, I'm gonna talk about this Bills team, man. When the Bills hired this guy, he flat out laid the game plan out, and I think they were sold. They had 3 other coaches that they were interested in, and I think they landed on this guy because once again they were looking for an offensive-minded guy over there. The Bills have been flat on their face for 4 or 5 seasons. They had Coach Hydro over there. I mean, they've given up a 100-point game more than once. They've been scored on 90 points. They've not been scoring points on offense. It was really terrible over there. We get a guy over here to come take this Bills team, and he laid his game plan out. His game plan was like, I'm going to mini scheme you to death. I'm going to play to my abilities. I'm going to play to my team's strength. And we've watched the Cleveland Brown game versus the Bills. They lost that game, but to me, I thought the Bills coach and their offense started clicking in that game, man. Talk about the West Coast style of offense that the Bills play with.
I mean, they know what they're doing. It reminds me of the 49ers in the 90s. 1, 2, 3, the ball is out. I think, it's going to have to be a lot of underneath coverage played this game, and I think they're not going to have to get pressure, maybe batted balls.
Right. Sacks is going to be hard to get. Now, we are in the snow, but the team is home. and we're playing with a rookie quarterback, Spencer Rattler, right now. Now, here's the thing. Spencer Rattler was 61% on the year. 1,958 yards, 15 touchdowns, 22 INTs. To me, I'm not mad at those numbers for a rookie quarterback. But again, we are in playoff football right now. I know he's home, but how is Spencer Rattler going to step up? Is he going to be Spencer Rattle or Spencer Rattler? How do you feel about it?
This is, from the looks of it, he looked like he got the offense down. But you know how rookies play when the lights is on? We'll see. We'll see. I mean, rookies generally don't play well in the playoffs. He's home, so you know that Ravens D's gonna be flying around. I want to say he might be more closer to Rattle, but you know, his coaching staff might got a good game plan. Man, might not expose him that much.
And my question is, rattled or not, they get the opening kickoff and go right down and put points on the board. The problem is the element is everything, right? So you do got O.J. Simpson Jr. in the backfield, and you got some good time players over there. Now, the Ravens had the ball first in this game. They must have went 3 and out. We're trying to get the feed right now to see what happened. And we're looking at it right now. Number 83 scored, and this is the rookie Jaden Hasselwood. So we might be seeing a Spencer Rattler. Yep, user strip. That's what it was. User strip on the opening kickoff. Is that what I'm just seeing right now? So Reggie Bush with the return.
On the game.
Reggie Bush with the return right now, and that's what it was. User strip, and right away 83 pick up and score. So scoop and score. We haven't really got to see the quarterbacks play in this game, but Lamar Jackson's on the field now with the football. Let's get into this game, man. We'll get back to you guys at halftime after we take a look at this game.